All right, guys. Just doing a real quick update. Just wanted to show you guys something very interesting that we've been talking about together for the past couple of days, and we just wanted to share it. And what I have on my screen right now, let me blow this up so you guys can see this. This was shared by a bunch of brothers and sisters on several different channels, and what we want to do is just look at this, right? And look at it in a new light because our brother Alan at Ministry Revealed, he did a great share when you go back 6,000 years or say to the time of like Adam and Enoch, that the sun was actually in Taurus for Passover, which was interesting. So, and we're looking about it, now because the sun throughout those history has, it's changed constellations. So we just wanted to look at this is Flavius Josephus, and this is what he said. And it says, in the month of Xanthicus, which is called Nisan, the beginning of the year, beginning of our year, on the 14th day of the lunar month, when the sun is in Aries. So we were thinking about this, what this could mean, and I'm going to show you guys Esword. I mean, not Esword, excuse me. I'm going to show you guys Stellarium. And this is Pisces right here. The sun's in Pisces, and we're on, this is back in April 10th right now. But the sun's in Pisces, right? So, and we were looking at the lunar calendar, right? We looked at Enoch's solar calendar and lunar calendar, but we were looking at the lunar calendar. We're like, did we have it right? Because when you look here, according to Flavius, that the sun must be in Aries. So a lot of the lunar calendars started their day right here on the 13th or 12th, right? And we're like, okay, well, but the sun's still in Aries. I mean, it's still in Pisces. So we're like, well, what if we walk it forward? And according to now we know right here the sun is in Aries, so the year can begin, right, on the solar calendar. But we're like, well, you just can't start there on the lunar calendar because it throws it all off. So we're like, well, what if we wait until the new moon? And I'm going to show you where the moon's coming through, right? So we got to wait for the new moon. Here's the moon. Here's the sun right here. The sun's right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So you see the sun. Here's the moon. So when the moon's coming in here, now we see that this is when you'd have the moon's at 0% right here, 0% illuminated. But when we go one more day, we see that this is where the sliver of the new moon would be, right? Because when the moon's full, that's, the feast days usually happen on the full moon. But the sliver of the moon would be the new moon, right, at 1%. And this is where we see this happening right now. So the sun had traversed through Aries, right, had to get in Aries first before we start it. But this is when the first lunar month could potentially start. So I was like, okay, well, what if this is the date here? And if we look at it this way, then we counted 14 days. 1, 2, well, this was day 1. This is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Let's go look. So it's evening to evening, right? 13. And I want you to see this. So this is 13. Here's 14. Passover, evening to evening, would be, if we look at this, starting from Passover forward, well, the moon is 99%, and it's doing its death, burial, resurrection. So we see from evening to evening, the 26th, the 25th to the 26th. Now in Jerusalem, I'm in the United States here, but you can have a different view, so the moon would look a little differently. But right here on the 26th is Passover, from the 25th to the 26th. According, if we looked at the lunar calendar that way. And funny enough, we're like, wow, okay. And then we realize it's a blood moon and a total eclipse, which has never happened on Passover before, right? And this is what we think they tried to do throughout the ages, is to get the calendar behind to where we could never tell. Let's see here. Anybody trying to say something here? Oh, you guys can't see. Sorry, Colleen. I didn't share my screen for you guys to see. I'll have to look at. I should have did that here. Let me share my screen so you guys can see. I have Brian, Jamie, and Colleen in the background, but they're just being quiet. But I just wanted to give this update. And then, could this be the time period we're looking for, where Passover, because how they've deliberately messed up the calendars, that it could be they did it to where it could have been 2 months behind. Because we know the Jews always fall a month behind, but I think last year they were supposed to add 30 days, or the year before that, but they didn't add, and they still haven't. So it made this year almost 2 months behind for them. And if you do this math and you look at it compared to what was done in 33 AD, or if you even go back to, let me just go back to negative, let me do this, negative, just say 3500 BC, right? Let me find the sun. Sorry, guys. This is the sun. We go back to the beginning. Look here. Now this is in April, right? See where the sun's at? The sun is actually in March here, March, where the sun's traversing through Taurus, right? So I'm just showing you this point real quick to show you that over the last 6,000 years, the sun is slowed down. So now we won't see the sun in Taurus until, right, 2021, right? And I'm going to May, and you see the sun's in Taurus. So it's slowed down 2 months since, you could say, all the way back in the beginning of time. So we just wanted to just do a quick update and show why we can actually look at the 26th and still, crazy enough, be Passover on this on this total lunar blood moon eclipse, right? And that's it. We just want to do that quick update so you guys can see, look at Stellarium, and Jamie and I'm having computer issues. We're planning to get some more studies out. We were going to do one last night, but my computer froze, and it took like a year to boot up for whatever reason. It had to do its updates, so I may have to do a restore. But Brian, did I miss anything, or should I add anything into this that you can remember? Or
just about the 20 days. Like that's why we see the difference between April 22nd as the solar moon start, and then because the moon is behind.
Yeah, so I want to share something real quick in Jubilees real quick. So why the moon is behind the sun. So in Enoch, we always share Enoch, and but I wanted to share Jubilees too. But and this is I took Jubilees, and I took the parts out that I was wanted to from the book, and put it in Excel here. Let me blow this. I don't know if I can blow this up to where you guys can see or not, but I'll read this. It says this is Jubilees, just say chapter 20, page 62, right? It says, and do command the children of Israel to eat no blood, so their names and their seed may be before the Lord God continually, right? And this law has no limit of days, for it is forever, right? They were commanded, this is in the time of Noah, that they should not eat the blood, right? Don't ever eat the blood, right? And then we see that the children of Israel, that they observe the years according to the reckoning of 364 days, and these will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb its time from its days or from its feast, for everything will fall in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from the order, right? And it says that, and this is Jubilee still, and it says, for I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, that the book written before me on the heavenly tables of the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast and covenant, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon. Now it is disturbed the seasons, and cometh in from year to year 10 days too soon. And it says, for this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day, and they will confound all the days, and the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to months, and to Sabbaths, to feasts and jubilees. Right? And it says, for after thy death thy children will disturb them, so they will not make the year 364 only. For this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons, seasons, Sabbaths, festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. Right? So God told Noah that they're going to mess up and they're going to eat the blood. And obviously we see everything's about the blood right now. The blood's like this spiritual contract, right? Because there's life in the blood, and they're eating it. Like you see people drinking adrenochrome, or getting like old people are getting young people to like do blood transfusions on them because they think they can get younger. So we see all this gross stuff, but this is what warned us, and it says the main point of this is that the moon would come in 10 days too soon. And from that last year to this year, it's a 20-day swing. So if we go back 20 days, and I just want to show you, according to the sun count, when the sun is supposed to be in Aries, all right, this is about the day right here, when the sun came into Aries. This would constitute the start of the year. But we're 20 days by this year from last year, this year. Last year was 10, this year was 10 when they were even. So when you count it 20 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Did I do that right? I think I did that wrong.
No.
I did that totally wrong. I only did 10. I'm an idiot.
So basically, I just want to say that it looks like the moon is actually, it looks like on Stellarium when you're watching it, it looks like the moon is 10 days ahead, but it's really 20 days behind because you have a 30-day window there, a 30-day circle. And so even though it looks like the moon's ahead 10 days, it's truly 20 days behind. So that's where we get the 22 to the 5/12, May 12th.
Yeah, so that's what. Yep. So this was the start of the year. This is what I'm sorry. This is the start of the year from Enoch's calendar, or from the solar year, right here when the sun comes to Aries. And when you count 20 days ahead, it puts us to where the moon's corrected 20 days. And what it's going to do is you'll see that actually the moon will be. This is when the day would start. The month would start for the moon when it passes the sun, and you see that sliver when you can see it's illuminated. So this is that 20-day difference. So we're just looking at Jubilees, Enoch, and seeing how the moon loses its course from year to year. Because when you go back 364 days, just watch. So this would be the first month, right? This would be the start of a month right here. But if you go back to 2020, this is 364 days, completely back 1 year. But the moon isn't around anymore. Why? Because the moon is off 10 days. So like here's the moon all the way over here. So then I'd have to go up, right? And look, now, right? Now the moon is in a new month period, right? Where the sliver is, depending on, if you can see it or not in this day. It could be anywhere between 23rd to 24th. But you see how the moon's always losing 10 days. So again, watch, I'm going to go up to 2021 and the moon's gone, right? And you have to you look at the moon. Now, here's the moon. This is the moon right here, right, with the sun. The moon's always gone. And I'll go again. Let me show you back up. This is 1 year, 1 full year, but the moon is not by the sun anymore. It's not a new month. So the moon loses its course over a year. And when it corrected itself, and we look at what Flavius Josephus said, right? I always love saying his name. And I'm going to show you guys. We're going to go into one more time. Josephus said that when the lunar month begins, when the sun is in Aries, right? So here is where they started their spiritual, or this month, right, from this year, right here, but the sun's still in Pisces again. So you can't have it in Pisces, right? So we're like, okay, well, we got to be in Aries, but you can't start the month here because then the moon isn't at a sliver. So we're like, okay, on the next go around, right here, this is where the moon's at 0%. This would constitute it. Then it would start this time frame. And when you do it this way, believe it or not, this matches all the way back to the time of Enoch and like Adam and him with the sun, moon, and stars for them. And then they say that the bull is actually Alan from Ministry Revealed did a great video on the bull being the rebirth or the birth, or what do you call it? Yes, thank you. So, and it matches. So we're just given some kind of similar, just showing you that this actually, and then 14 days later, right, that this could be Passover, and the fact is, sorry guys, it's going crazy. I'm sorry. Let me get in here, right? This is 25th to the 26th because, Israel's ahead of us, right? So, it would be the 26th for them right here for us. But it's the death, burial, and resurrection playing out in the sun, moon, and stars, right? You have the death, burial, resurrection. And our brother Alan got here, looking at it from a different way, looking at it from 2000, from 4000 BC all the way up here, and we're just taking what Josephus said and trying to correct it, and we get here as well. So that's just our update. Provision for the additional Passover. I was reading a comment. I don't want to get into that. We can talk about that on our next study video. I just want to do a quick update. Brian, do you want to add something?
I just want to add one quick thing. So we know that the Hebrew month was supposed to wait until the first new moon after the spring equinox, correct?
Correct.
But this year they did not do it. And my theory is because their second Passover, if they would have done it the correct way, the second Passover would have fallen on this 526, this blood moon eclipse. And they couldn't have that. So that's why they intentionally messed up the calendar for May 26th being the start of the year.
Yeah. And then also, funny enough, guys, awesome, right? At this time period where we're looking at from Passover to resurrection, Mercury is retrograding. So on this 28th day, which would be resurrection, there's a conjunction between Venus and Mercury. The sun's at the eye of Taurus, right? Matching up here. Then you have also Jupiter and Aquarius, right? You have this wrath being poured out. Then you have, we expect the 40 days of the Son of Man to start. Then you have Mars in Gemini, Pollux, right? Which would be the type of shadow of Jesus here. This would be Jesus. This would be us. But Mars to persecute Jesus for a 40-day period. And so there's all these connections, right? And we just wanted to share it. So we're having, hey, there's actually some really good, proof here that it could be, just another thing, just to give you guys hope.
And John 19:31 talks about the high day, which could be the summer solstice day, the day where there's the most light. And so it's around that time frame. So, it would make sense that we're closer to spring is nigh. I mean, summer is nigh, sorry.
Yes.
And that kind of adds up.
Okay, and so that was it. That was we just want to do a quick share. I know this is gonna be a long video, guys. Some of you guys may enjoy it, but Jamie and I are gonna we'll all be together later, and we're gonna do a study video and keep going through the differences of the Gospels. But that being said, guys, God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. Just a quick one.
God bless.
Bye, y'all.